wouldn't believe, but it was only 10 years ago that man first said, Google it. Her Majesty's Secret Service is looking for the next 007 on Facebook, and Walmart drops its DRM servers and leaves music buyers royally pissed. Hey guys, I'm Layla Kaylee, and welcome to the Feed Week in Review, a half hour devoted to news updates, headlines, and information from the worlds of technology and pop culture. Plus, we'll see what stories are getting the most hits on our website, and I'll talk with a few of our loyal viewers. In the news this week, Marvel Comics and Paramount Studios plan to continue that marriage that gave us Iron Man with 5 new adapted features and a big payday for Robert Downey Jr. And the androids are coming. Can T-Mobile convince iPhone addicts to kick the habit with their new G1 mobile phone? All you PC users rejoice, you can now TiVo every episode of Ninja Warrior without leaving your keyboard, so let's get right to it. We're kicking things off with big gaming news. Nintendo held their full 2008 press conference this week and revealed a new DS to the world. At first glance, the new model looks similar to the old one, but the DSi features twin digital cameras, an SD card slot that enables MP3 music playback, a built-in web browser, and a bigger screen 17% bigger than the current DS Lite. Plus, they've taken a page from the Wii Shop by offering a service where users can check out demos or buy full games. It's also slightly thinner than its predecessor, but keep in mind that all those extra bells and whistles are going to cost you in terms of battery life. The DS and the DS Lite are both incredibly popular players. Nintendo has sold over 80 million units worldwide. That's unbelievable. Now, our next bit of news is big in Hollywood land, but it'll be a while before you see the results in a theater near you. Marvel has inked a deal with Paramount, giving them the worldwide rights to the next 5 live-action adaptations of Marvel Comics. That includes the series of Avenger films like Thor and Captain America, as well as the 3rd installment of the blockbuster Iron Man, my favorite. The Robert Downey Jr. flick has already taken in $571 million worldwide, so I can just picture Paramount execs rubbing their hands in glee over how much money they'll make on number 3. And in other Hollywood Avenger news, Thor may be getting a pedigree. Veteran thespian Kenneth Branagh is in talks to direct the flick about everyone's favorite Viking Thunder God. Meanwhile, the UK's top secret security organization MI6 has been not so secretly making headlines this week. Not only have they been actively and not so covertly recruiting agents using Facebook, but they've had a little problem with an eBay auction. It seems that a British man purchased a Nikon Coolpix camera on eBay for a mere $31, but he got a whole lot more than he bid on. According to Reuters, the camera's contents contain names of Al-Qaeda members, fingerprints, pictures of rocket launchers, missiles, and detailed information about an MI6 system. The new owner immediately contacted police, who thought it was a joke, and I don't blame them, but it was actually 100% real, and now MI6 is looking for the agent who owned the camera. Now, maybe the Secret Service can find him using Google. We've gotten so used to Googling things that it's hard to imagine a time when they weren't around. But Google celebrated their 10th birthday this month, and to mark the occasion, they revealed a virtual time capsule in the form of a search index dating back to 2001. Now, if you're wondering why they didn't offer up results from 1998, it's because they didn't start archiving pages until 2001. And if you do a search for Facebook, MySpace, or even Friendster, you'll come up with nothing. They weren't even around back then. But kicking it old school isn't the only thing Google is doing to celebrate. They've rolled out a 10-year Google timeline, a 10 to the 100th project that will give $10 million to the best idea submission that helps people. That's very cool. And even the little Google Street View guy was seen sporting a party hat and balloons. Yeah, all right. Well, it's no secret that Google is out to give the iPhone a run for its money and its new Android software. The open source OS made its debut to huge fanfare, and with T-Mobile as the official carrier as well as an actual keyboard, the tech world is wondering if this could be the iPhone killer.
We're here to celebrate the birth of a new platform and a new set of services that we believe will be game-changing.
On September 23rd in New York, T-Mobile introduced the most anticipated mobile phone since Apple's venerable iPhone. It's called the G1, and what makes it so special isn't the bright, full-colored touchscreen. It's what's inside that counts. Google DNA.
Android is actually an open source operating system that can be used on different devices, cell phones or mobile internet devices. In this case, Android is being applied to an HTC phone on the T-Mobile network. It's definitely a step in the right direction for cell phones in general. It's right on par with what the iPhone is doing in terms of functionality. There's a couple things here and there, but I think it's a pretty slick device.
It was a little bit of a slight disappointment. The hardware, the phone really doesn't look terribly different from other HTC phones that I've seen. Hardware-wise, wasn't terribly exciting, but I think the real question is how cool is the software going to be, and I think that remains to be seen.
I think the real breakthrough here is how open it's going to be, that anyone can write an application for it.
So this is the Compass Street View. You can't really do this with an iPhone yet. Maybe you will someday. The keyboard comes out like this. It's actually a lot easier to type on than I thought it would be. It's much lighter than I thought it would be. It still feels solid. It doesn't feel cheap. The price is good, $180, cheaper than the iPhone.
There's a lot of developers who are really excited about it and want to start doing apps and games for it, which is huge.
We look at Pac-Man as one of our example games. You can play that game via trackball, you can play it via swipe, you can also play it via the built-in accelerometer that's in the device. But a long press on anything will bring up an option menu to copy, cut, paste. It's fantastic.
It turns out to be great for allowing third parties to develop applications, and if they're great applications, I think it will be a better experience than even using an iPhone.
iPhone killer? No. However, first or second place, I could see them jockeying for that maybe. Still think the iPhone comes out on top for now.
You don't pick it up and go, wow, I just have to touch this and feel it and kiss it. But the proof will be in the usage there. If it turns out to be robust in the way the iPhone isn't, then it can be challenged.
I think this is just the tip of the iceberg. It's just the very beginning.
The whole idea of Android is to be on multiple devices, so what's next?
There's a new kid on the block, and his name is Android. Look for Android-powered mobile phones on store shelves October 22nd.
Okay, well, it seems like the war between Android and the iPhone will have the same dividing line between the iPhone and the BlackBerry. It's all about how you like your keyboards, real or virtual. I prefer real. All right, you guys, stay right there because Chris Score is going to help you stage your very own personal Fright Night with the scariest movies coming out this Halloween. And I've got more info about the CW's reimagining of the Graysons. Yes, I'm talking about Robin the Boy Wonder. I'll be right back.
Week in Review. The Feed Week in Review.
Welcome back to the Feed Week in Review. Hey guys, I'm Layla Kaylee and I'm here to plug you into the hottest stories making the headlines and changing your world this week. The world is going to change for all of us this November when the nation elects a new president. And this week, Barack Obama's campaign launched an official iPhone app to help them stump for votes. Supporters can download it from the iTunes Store right now and turn their phones into a recruiting tool. The app is user-friendly and what it does is organize your contacts by states and prioritizes them by key battleground areas. That way you can call the people you know in key states like, say, Florida and see if they're interested in voting for Obama. As of right now, the McCain campaign doesn't have an application listed in the Apple Store, but there is an app you can download that places a picture of a red, white, and blue elephant as your wallpaper. Don't say we're not fair and balanced. All right, there's been some big news about a certain big box store this week. Back in February, Walmart made the switch to DRM-free music, but customers who bought music online before then aren't smiling. That's because all the songs they purchase still have DRM built into them. So when Walmart takes their DRM servers offline on October 9th, those songs will only play on the computer they've been downloaded to. The only way customers can transfer the music that they already own is by burning audio CDs from their DRM music and then re-ripping them back to their computers. That's terrible. Now, if only there was a big store where you could get blank audio CDs for a ridiculously low price. Oh, I wish. All right, so October may be a bad month for some Walmart customers, but it's almost time for one of our favorite holidays, Halloween. There's nothing better than a good scary movie to celebrate the season, so here's Chris Score to show us what Hollywood is offering up this year to give moviegoers the fright of their lives.
Thanks, Layla. I'm here live at the only place where celebrities would be caught dead, the Hollywood Forever Cemetery. The final resting stop for such extinguished luminaries as Vampira, Bugsy Siegel, and half the Ramones. Now let's take a look at some upcoming horror films, and I hope they're not DOA. First up, Quarantine is being unleashed on October 10th. A remake of the 2007 Spanish film REC that tells the tale of an apartment building sealed off by the EPA after a mysterious, deadly, and highly contagious strain of rabies breaks out.
We're filming this! People are gonna see what you're doing, guys!
If you want to see how this film ends, see the original. Then watch the remake's trailer. Good old American remakes. Landing October 24th is Passengers. 5 survivors of a plane crash begin to disappear mysteriously one by one.
That crash, it's like being born again.
Is it supernatural or good old-fashioned murder? The Mile High Club is now 6 feet under.
And what did Santa bring you, honey?
On October 24th, Tim Burton's classic The Nightmare Before Christmas returns in 3D. The tagline is, so real, it's scary.
I am the Pumpkin King!
But in my opinion, anything from Walt Disney Pictures is pretty damn scary. But wait, there's more! Like the Ginsu knife, the 5th installment of the Saw franchise slices and dices its way on October 24th. Expect puppets, body parts, and hyperkinetic editing.
Hello.
Also expect Saw 6, 7, and 8 to be released the following week. Also coming out on Halloween, The Haunting of Molly Hartley. Molly's about to discover the truth about just who, or rather what she's destined to become.
Now you have great power ahead of you. I don't want it. You will.
Gossip Girl's Chase Crawford stars. I'm scared.
I know you are.
And if you still haven't got your horror fill, in November expect Repo, the Genetic Opera. Saw 2 through 4 director Darren Lynn Bousman's post-apocalyptic story of an epidemic of organ failures that devastates the planet, killing tens of millions. Oh yeah, it's a musical.
I'm only living out a lie.
Not a dry seat in the house. Now, if these Hollywood horror films sound scary but not in a good way, do what I do. Just rent some DVDs from Netflix. So many good horror films collecting dust in their warehouses. Now, if you're looking for more gore and less Chris, check out G4TV.com. I'm Chris Gore. You've just been fed dead. Back to you, Layla.
Thanks, Chris. I'm bootleg. I'm more of a blockbuster girl myself. And just the idea of a Halloween musical is enough to scare me, so I think I'll lock the door and stay under the covers on the 31st, or maybe dress up for my dogs. All right, something that may scare Batman fanboys is the CW's plans for a show called The Graysons. The story revolves around the life of Dick Grayson before Batman tapped him to be the Boy Wonder. Hey, it worked for Superman, and luckily the producers of Smallville are behind the project. They've teamed up with Mick G of Charlie's Angels fame and plan on putting their own spin on the early years of Robin. Now, hardcore Batman fans know that there's not much in the comic books about Robin's history. We just know that his parents were part of a circus act called the Flying Graysons, but they died as a result of a gangster's extortion scheme. But before you think Robin is finally coming out from under the shadow of the Bat, keep in mind that what everyone wants to know about this new show is who will play Bruce Wayne. Don't go anywhere, it's almost time for me to get a little feedback. My G4TV.com correspondent will be here to break down the best stories blazing their way across our website. And then get ready, because I want to hear directly from you right after this.
The Feed Week in Review. The Feed Week in Review.
Welcome back to the Feed Week in Review. Hey guys, I'm Layla Kaylee, and it's time to get a little feedback. Let's check in with Scott Moschella, our G4TV.com correspondent, to see what you guys are buzzing about on our website. What's up, Scott?
Hey, Layla.
How are you?
I'm great, thanks.
All right, let's get right to it. Tell me what are the top stories for our web denizens out there right now.
All right, this week, everyone is talking about the big news that's coming out of Microsoft. They're putting together a dream team of video game heavy hitters to develop the next Halo title.
Okay.
And so far, they've got a really impressive lineup working on the as yet unnamed game. And that's Metal Gear Solid 4's assistant producer Ryan Payton,
yes.
Bungie's ex-content manager Frank O'Connor, Pseudo Interactive's David Wu, Corinne Yu from Gearbox, and IDS, Kenneth Scott. They're all on board. This version of Halo isn't coming out of Bungie Studios, so Microsoft needs all the help they can get, and that's why they're bringing out these big guns.
Well, that's going to be really interesting because Halo fans are so loyal. You know how it is. So
Totally.
I'm really interested to see how this develops. Now, tell me about some more big announcements in the gaming world that we should know about.
Okay, it looks like Sony Entertainment is going for a really big splash at the Tokyo Game Show. The company says they're announcing 14 new games, 11 never before seen PlayStation 3 titles, and 2 new PlayStation Portable games. Our team is going to be in Tokyo next week, of course, to bring you all the latest TGS news.
I'm so jealous I'm not going to be there. All right, what about our faithful G4 web community? Is there anything in particular this week that they can't stop talking about?
Definitely. The biggest buzz in our comment section this week came when XPlay gave away 2,000 beta keys for PlayStation 3's upcoming platformer, Little Big Planet. It's an eagerly anticipated game, and so the chance to get a crack at playing it a little early racked up over 300 comments. One user, Haas599, summed up everyone's feelings perfectly by posting, and this is a quote here.
Okay.
Please, please, please let me be one of 2,000.
Me too.
and another reader whose name was Master Chief 1775 posted one of our most earnest comments by saying, just because my name is Master Chief 1775, and that's because Xbox.
I know, it's Xbox. You don't need to school me.
Even though his name is Master Chief, it does not mean that I am not a PS3 fan because I love PS3.
Well, let's talk about that for a minute, because a lot of Xbox fans are like, you know, they want to get a PS3 just for this, and I know you said before that you went out and bought a PlayStation just for this game. Why is that? Why is this creating such buzz?
I bought a PS3 just to play this game. I just got a beta code because I work here, so I got a little lucky. But I'm so psyched about this game. It's just the amount of creativity that's out there. There's level creation, tons of customization. It's an awesome platformer. It's super cute. Everyone's just going crazy over it. It's going to be huge when it hits.
I want to check it out too. All right, Scott. Well, here's a freebie for you. I want to know what the internet team's favorite story from this week's headline is, and anything goes. So it's a free for all. It's a good thing.
This one's a little crazy.
Okay.
Our favorite story that's ripped straight from the web this week was about a real-life supervillain in Seattle, and you can't make this up. It was like a scene right out of a Silver Age Batman comic.
What happened?
This amazing, awesome thief recruited like a dozen decoys from Craigslist. He instructed them to dress identically and hang around outside a bank, and then the robber showed up dressed the exact same way, and he was totally camouflaged by the crowd. He pepper sprayed an armored truck guard, grabbed some bags of cash because he totally mixed in. He jumped into a river and he floated away on an inner tube to financial security, and that leads me to say,
hang on, I gotta ask you, did they ever catch this guy?
They did not catch this guy, and it's seriously best robbery ever.
So he's on the run. It could be you for all I know. That's like the most amazing, horrible story ever. Well, thank you so much for keeping us up to date, and as always, it's great to see you.
My pleasure. Thanks,
Thank you, Scott. All right, that's it for this week's feedback, but remember, you can get your news fixed 24 hours a day, 7 days a week by going to G4TV.com. And now I want to hear what you have to say. Time to check in with our video viewer mail.
Hey Layla, I'm Jared from Mississippi, and I just wanted to ask this question. Google's Android-operated phones haven't been getting great reviews in the country. So I was just wondering what kind of phone you have and what it would take before you'd get a G phone.
Wow, thank you, Jared. I don't know if I'm going to get a G phone. To be honest, I love my BlackBerry. I'm a simple girl. Everyone around here has, you know, their iPhones. Andy, our stage manager, is playing with his right now. And it's like, I'm not feeling it. I don't know why. I just don't have good luck with Apple products. Every Apple product I've got, it's been in lemon, so I gave up a long time ago. But thank you for your question. I'm a simple girl. I'm sticking to my BlackBerry. All right, let's hear from our next viewer.
Hey, Layla. This is James from Dallas, Texas. And my question is, those of us who are fans know that you're huge into MySpace. Why haven't you gotten into Facebook yet?
You know what? I know this sounds insane because everyone loves Facebook over MySpace, and everyone's like, MySpace is done with. I like MySpace. I just feel like it's a lot more simple to navigate. And Facebook, there's just so much going on. It's like, this person's taking a poop. This one is doing this. That one's doing that all over my page. And I just really don't want to know. It's just too confusing for me. So I stick with MySpace. I have a Facebook page with like 4 friends, and that's it. So I hope I answered your question. All right, you guys, stay right there, because if you love that TiVo interface and wish you could apply it to your PC, I've got good news for you right after this.
in Review.
Welcome back to the Feed Week in Review. Hey guys, I'm Layla Kaylee. Now, TiVo and Nero Software are creating a PC-based TV recording kit. For $199, customers can get a package with an HD TV tuner and software, as well as a TiVo-style remote. Plus, the recording format is MPEG-4, so you can transfer recordings to other devices. Look for the kit on October 15th. Now, Improv Everywhere, the pranksters responsible for the Frozen Flash mob in Grand Central Station, have caught the attention of Yahoo. The web giant is the corporate sponsor for their next project, the MP3 Experiment. Founder Charlie Todd says they're not selling out. He promises the extra money won't compromise the integrity of the project. Let's hope so. Well, that's it for today, but the Feed Week in Review doesn't stop here. Look for these stories to be making headlines next week. Reports are coming in from that early screening of Watchmen. It may be time to dial down our expectations. And Sony throws their hat in the e-reader ring with their new touchscreen ebook reader. I'm Layla Kaylee, and guess what? You guys have just been fed.